Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to do a quick video on how to change the fuel filter in the Volkswagen T6 Transporter. Should be the same for the T5.1 as well. Let's get right into it. So put your ignition off and you'll find your fuel filter here, behind this here, just down there. You can see it's got two pipes on it there. Now some transporters have 4 pipes going into it. Okay, so just double check before you go out and buy your fuel filter you got the right one. Some have 2 pipes going in, some have 4 pipes, so this is 2 pipes going in. Okay, so what I've done here is, number one, I've undone the screws on the front of the expansion bottle here. You've got 2 what they called Torx screws in there, so I've undone them. I've also undone this plug here, which goes on like that on there, and the way you lift it off is you need to see the back of here, you need to push down on that there and pull it up towards you. That there undoes it, and then you can take that off. The reason why we're doing that is because you get a bit of movement when you need to move this out of the way. Okay, so you can't pull it up sideways, be careful with it, because it is actually connected quite low down underneath here. I've got my little pointer. I thought I'd try this pointer today. So here it is actually connected to a pipe underneath here, so don't be yanking it about. You just want to move it so you can get to these, slide the fuel filter out. Okay, now then, on the fuel filter you've got 2 pipes, and what we need to do is undo those clips there on the pipe. So I've already undone mine, but what you've got on the front, you can see this button here. You need to put your fingers, and you need to push that down. See there, you need to push that down and lift. So as you go, push it in and lift off. Okay, so that's one, and you've got one at the back here. You need to do the same thing with that. So you're pushing, you can turn the pipe, whichever easiest way to do it for you. Push and lift. You push and lift at the same time. Okay, there we go, that's out the way there. Now then, what you've got then, I've lost my pointer already, here it is. Poor lighting, but right at the back here you can see there's a bolt that goes through there, like a little clamp. I think it's a 10mm. You need to undo that 10mm nut there. Okay, that releases the fuel filter. So with that loose, you should be able to grab the fuel filter and lift up. Now the issue we've got is that it hits the pipe here and here. You could take this pipe off to help, but you can actually wiggle this out the way to lift the fuel filter out the way. So I've only got the one hand recording, so I'm just going to put you on pause for a second and lift that fuel filter out. By moving this aside, I'm bending this pipe back carefully, I can lift the fuel filter up. Okay, that's the fuel filter out. Now then, when I went to buy a fuel filter, I always try and go buy original Volkswagen or Bosch or something like that. However, when I pull this out, it's original Volkswagen with the original Volkswagen part number. However, it is a MAL fuel filter with the numbers KL229/5. Okay, now I went out and I had a look for the exact same filter, which is this one here. Now it's not Volkswagen branded, but it is a Volkswagen item, if that makes sense. It's exactly like for like without the Volkswagen stamp. Okay, now I think this was about £25, and I think Volkswagen had roughly £50–60 for the same filter. So I think the Porsche I have does exactly the same thing. You've got a Porsche oil filter, which is, that's I can't remember how much it is, it's quite expensive, but if you pull the Porsche oil filter out, it'll have MAL written on it with a MAL part number, and you can cross-reference and get the same, exactly the same item. That's just up to you. If you want to do the same as me, it's up to you, or go original or go Bosch or something like that. Anyway, right, we've got the filter out, let's put the new one in. So we'll unbox the filter. As you can see, it is, it's right over there, it is identical except for the stampings and that. It is exactly the same as your old filter size wise exactly the same, and it's also got that little, not sure what that's for. I'm guessing that is a magnet to catch all the contaminants inside the fuel filter, so it traps them at the bottom. Okay, so it's exactly the same. Let's pull this out of the way, and we are going to put again, we're going to move this aside with one hand, slide this in with the other hand. Give us a second. Okay, once that's in there, you happy with that? What I'll do then, we'll take these caps off here now. Where's that other cap? Ha! It's got to be tight. Where is it? It's there, isn't it? There we go. Both caps are off there now. What I'm going to do now is push these till they click onto there. 1 and 2. So we're going to put that onto there. Click it onto there, like that. Okay. And then what I'm going to do the same time is just turn the fuel filter so you see that there's no tension on any of these hoses, and you're happy where they are there. Once you've done that, you can then tighten this bracket at the back here. That'll be tight. Okay, all them done there. Now then, once you've done that, you can then put this back in its place, and what you'll find, there is a little, so you can find it, there you go, 2 little pegs there. They go into the holes at the back there, so we're going to put those 2 back inside there with one hand again. Okay, I will do it, but not with one hand. Okay, so they're going to go back, and I'm going to screw those back into there. We're going to put the plug back in, and we're going to put this hose, clip it back into there. Okay, that's the fuel filter done. You're finished there with that fuel filter there now. But just to show you while I am here, I would just show you, while I've got the opportunity to show you where this little fuse box is here. Might be helpful for somebody looking for fuses. You just undo the screw here. This part here will lift up out of the way. You can also lift this plastic up, straight up, like that. What you've got underneath here is a fuse box. So if ever you're looking for certain fuses in your transporter, you will find that they are underneath here. Okay, that's just something for you to have a look at. If somebody mentions you fuse boxes in the engine bay, you've got that, but you've also got some underneath there. But also got the chance, I thought I'd show you that. Now then, once you've done your fuel filter like that, now you now need to prime the fuel filter. So let's go in the cab and let's have a look at what we're doing there. So in the cab, if you haven't got VCDS, VCDS is really handy. If you haven't got the VCDS, you'll have to prime the fuel pump manually if you like. And what we do with that there is just cycle the ignition on and off. So you're going to put the ignition on, you will hear the fuel pump buzz. Okay, just put it on for a few seconds, put it off again. Do it again, off, and you'll have to do that quite a few times, okay? Before starting your engine. Don't try and start it without doing that. Without doing that, so you'll have to on and off. Now, if you do have VCDS, which is really handy, and if you've got it, sorry about the light's a bit, you need to connect it to your car, have the ignition on like I've got here. You will go to the engine, like that. Will it connect? I hope so. Here we go. Not sure what that is, but we'll just put yes to that anyway. There we go. So in the engine module, you're going to click basic settings, and then it comes up with this here. I don't know if you can see that. And then we're going to go up to here. We are going to check test of transfer fuel pump. It's there. You are going to click that, and you're going to click go in the corner here. Now I would do that a few times just to make sure you've got it right, and then when you do hear it, you'll hear the pitch of the pump change. So be quite a high pitched while it's priming. Then once it's primed, the pump will start working, and you'll hear the pitch change to like a heavier tone, and you know it's done then. Okay, now then, just to show you what I've been doing, and I can't put my fuel pump on at the moment, let's have a look. As you can see there, I've actually dropped my fuel tank down Somebody's cut it there and put a hose there. I don't know why they've done that. Your fuel pump is actually, see if we can have a look at it. It is up inside there. That's your fuel pump in your fuel tank. So what I've done, I've actually taken this fuel tank down. I've cleaned it, cleaned the inside of it. So I need to put fuel in this before I click on the fuel pump. Priming. So yeah, that's how it's done. The fuel pump is done. I hope this video is helpful to anyone who wants to do it. It's quite easy to do. Please do like and subscribe to the channel. The more viewers I get, the better I can do the videos for you, and I can help anybody out. If you ask me any questions, whatever you want to know, or the specific video that you want me to do for you or anything like that, just let me know. Yeah, thank you very much.